Hey there. It's another beautiful day and I've got my coffee. Let's watch some stuff.
Yep, this terrifying situation is happening soon, and 2024 might be the start of a fiery apocalypse. People were terrified after it was said that NASA reported a storm caused by the sun, and it's believed to have as much power as 1 billion nuclear bombs exploding. This is believed to be caused by huge explosions in the sun. However, NASA noticed an increase in sun activity recently and left a terrifying message saying the sun storms will be at its peak in 2024, with many news sites reporting an internet apocalypse, saying that when this happens, Earth will not have the infrastructure to handle this, causing an entire shutdown of the internet for months or years. The damages would be catastrophic, as the entire world's economy would collapse in just hours. A computer science expert reported that Earth is just simply not prepared, as we've never experienced this before. NASA has come out since then and talked about how they actually don't have enough information to determine how strong these solar storms will be, and the damages are all currently just untrue speculation.
I truly believe that every single day, every single second, we are completely at the sun's mercy. It's such a volatile, powerful force, and we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. The sun can just suddenly decide, I'm not doing it anymore. And then it's going to kick everybody's bucket. We wouldn't even know it. Hey, I just wanted to take a second and thank you so much for joining me for today's coffee talk. If you're having a good time, maybe you'd consider hitting that subscribe button and come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
Okay, I just found something else insane about the eclipse. How many coincidences do we need? So do you remember a couple days ago when there was those really bad storms, bad tornadoes, all that? Remember this path. See that same path? Listen to what the meteorologist says. This is actually bizarre. Again, he sees weather every day, and this is bizarre to him. And I'm not just saying that. This will be one of the more notable severe storms nights in March in recent memory. In the past hour, over 16,000 individual lightning bolts from western New York to northeast Texas, spanning 1,200 miles. Again, in the same exact path as the eclipse. And here is another glimpse of it in the same exact path. And this storm was so dangerous. And again, it connects at the New Madrid fault line and also at the gravity low. Now, if there was some kind of cataclysm at this New Madrid fault line, guess what? Scientists already drew up what it would look like. And this right here is what they believe the outcome would be. Here, I'll give you a second. Is your new location in the ocean, in a river, or on land? Let me know in the comments. Me over here, I got a new beach line 20 minutes from the house. But if you're over here, and all this controversy going on with Texas right now, they'd be the best place on the map. Y'all, I think this is a warning. I didn't think anything was going to happen. I really didn't. I thought it was a sign of judgment from God. But I don't know now. I mean, you got National Guard, them warning people to get flashlights and batteries and water and all this stuff. I don't know. It is 2024, and with the first quarter of the year, I would not be surprised. David Shane, you better be recording this for us.
Every time I see a doomsday map, I'm in the ocean. My area is constantly getting sunk. They don't want us around anymore. I don't blame them. That's pretty cool. How the storms are tracking along with the upcoming eclipse, which is supposed to be on April 8th, and there's supposed to be some hokey stuff happening. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I already got it put in my calendar, so we're gonna keep an eye out. But yeah, were you in the ocean? Were you in a river? Are you still on dry land? Let me know.
The most things, be a vegan, because the farmers who protect your beans, everything. I 1 animal per arrow. In order to grow tofu, you have to kill every ground squirrel, every vole, every shrew, every snake, every turtle, every frog, every bird, every rabbit, anything that gets in that bean field. I'm either going to plow and dismember, which is why the crows and the seagulls follow the combines every year. And then if anything does survive my first slaughter, I'm going to come in with Monsanto and poison the shit out of everything so you can have a tofu salad and not be responsible for any death. Fuck you.
That's a really good point, and it's a point that a lot of people ignore.
And avoid because it's uncomfortable.
There's a lot of films and a lot of documentaries that portray veganism as being this perfect way of living that doesn't have any death.
You're
any
right.
habitat loss associated.
I thought this was interesting because I personally had never thought that far back in the production of vegan produce and the like, right? Because it's just something you don't think about. You think about, oh, this says it's vegan, so it must be vegan, so it's healthy, and that's how I want to be because I don't want animals to have to pass away for me to survive. But there is so much unaliving surrounding that. I didn't even know, had no idea.
Here's the real truth about oil. Oil is the second most abundant resource next to water. In the beginning of the 19th century, when trains were invented, petroleum was mainly used to lubricate the engines. When they discovered it could be used as fuel, it became very valuable. Rockefeller, being a savvy businessman that he was, devised a plan to trick the public into thinking it was scarce. In 1892, there was a convention in Geneva where scientists were to determine what organic substances were. The definition of an organic substance is something containing hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. Rockefeller sent some of his scientists to the convention where they claimed that oil contained these three molecules. Therefore, it had to be derived from something organic. This is where the term fossil fuel was born. There has never been a real fossil discovered below 16,000 feet, yet oil rigs drill up to 35,000 feet. It has never been proven scientifically that oil comes from dead animals and plants. Rockefeller has donated over $180 million to the General Educational Board, which he basically created. Now every single textbook states that oil is a fossil fuel. Rockefeller never wanted thinkers, he wanted workers. So, next time you're filling up your tank for an ungodly amount, just know that you are being scammed. If you want to support the channel, go buy some merch through my Linktree. I created all the designs myself. More to come, like and follow.
I totally think that oil is a scam, but not in that manner. It's up and down and it fluctuates so ridiculously and unnecessarily at a lot of times. And I don't think that the thing about it being not a fossil fuel is accurate. I think it totally is because, I mean, unless Rockefeller and the Geneva Convention took over the entire interwebs, it says it's a fossil fuel. So it's derived from plants and animals and probably our past civilizations.
The Daily Mail went down to the Roosevelt Hotel, the hotel in New York City that is housing asylum seekers, and decided to interview a few of them and found out that some of these migrants are making up to $3,000 a month doing food delivery services while living for free at the Roosevelt. Full-on maid service, free meals, laundry service. You have this guy right here, 24-year-old, single, adult, military-age man staying at the Roosevelt Hotel, says he's making up to as much as $1,500 every 2 weeks by delivering food and other items, even though he doesn't have a working license. And keep in mind that the majority of these people, they do not have legitimate asylum claims, so they're not here legally. They're making money while living at a luxury hotel. How many American citizens are struggling so bad under inflation? They're struggling to pay their rent. They're struggling to buy groceries. They're struggling to fill up their cars with gas. And now you have people that entered our country illegally. Most of them aren't going to have legitimate asylum claims. They're staying in Times Square at a luxury hotel, raking in the dough. Also, regular food delivery drivers, American citizens that have been using these food delivery apps, now they're making less money because the market is becoming more saturated with all of the people coming over the border and into New York City. And I think the way that they're doing this, like DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these places, they'll say that this isn't happening, but they're also paying other people that have legitimate accounts. So they'll pay them like once a month or once every few weeks so they can use their accounts to deliver the food and stuff like that.
I don't understand how these cities are just allowing this to happen. I don't understand how the people of these cities are okay with this and they're not standing up against their government, telling them, look, I'm working my butt off. I'm paying my fair share and I'm barely making it by. And you are letting people who come here illegally just freaking float on through life and you're giving them everything? That's insane. It just drives me crazy. It really does.
All right, everyone loves a good boycott, so let's talk about why Tyson is next up on the chopping block. It's March 15th, and Tyson just announced that they are going to hire 52,000 illegal immigrants. Not only that, but the benefits are pretty good for them as well. Their benefits include legal aid to go through the immigration process, childcare, and housing. Earlier this week on Monday, they announced that they are going to be closing their plant in Perry, Iowa, and that puts about 1,200 people out of work. Along with that, Tyson has also shut down 6 plants in the past year. So you're telling me that they can fire their employees, shut down plants that the local economies depend on, and then they're going to be allowed to hire 52,000 illegal immigrants? If you aren't aware, Tyson is a huge company, and here's a list of all of the other brands that they own if you do decide to join the boycott. I cannot advise you to do so, but I will be joining it myself because I think that this is bullshit. I will say there are a lot of grateful farmers and butchers out there that would love your business. Now would be a great time to vote with your dollar.
I am just beside myself with the amount of ticked off that I can be right now. That's insane. Those last 2 videos, whoo, if those don't tick you off, then I don't know what will. But I love a good boycott. There was a lot more products there than I thought there was going to be. I thought it was just going to be Tyson, but dang, Tyson's a parent company to a lot of things. Let's stop using them.
So I made a few videos recently talking about the possibility of a zombie outbreak, and a few of you in the comments were saying how an outbreak of this magnitude would be impossible or that you'd only see this in a movie. However, there's been recent research and discoveries that show exactly how a zombie outbreak could possibly happen in our world today. For starters, Russian scientists have resurrected a zombie worm that was frozen for 24,000 years in the Arctic. And we've already been warned multiple times by experts to be careful when melting Arctic ice because it could revive long dormant diseases. There's also been some recent research that shows that there's an exclusive molecule lurking in the human gut that could possibly awaken zombie or latent viruses. Now, none of this actually means that there's going to be a zombie outbreak now or ever, but I did find an interesting video of someone asking Alexa about a zombie outbreak. I want you guys to check it out and let me know what you think about all this in the comments.
The zombie apocalypse will begin in May 2028 in the United Kingdom and spread to the rest of the world by July 2028.
So I just put May 2028 in my weird shit to watch for calendar. I've got so many dates in there. As far as a zombie apocalypse, I really don't think that the zombies would be the concern. I think the major utilities, those facilities are going to be where you want to watch out for, because if there's nobody there to maintain them, I don't know how many have a shutdown mode where if they're not maintained for whatever reason, they just go into automatic shutdown. But even with nuclear facilities, isn't there like nuclear decay and stuff like that can cause, even bigger problems? I'm not smart enough in the nuclear area to know this, but I do know that that's a problem. If you know more about that, let me know if that's something that there is to worry about. Because if there's nobody there manning it, what happens? Asking Alexa for these answers, I don't put stock in that. I mean, yeah, I put that date in my weird shit to watch for calendar, but I don't put too much stock in that. I remember when I got my first iPhone and I went, "Hey Siri," immediately my sister jumps right in and is like, "Where do I hide a body?" And boom, she had an answer. So yeah. Yeah.
This woman has an extraordinary gift, even though everyone thought she was crazy. In 1982, Joy welcomed her husband home from work when she suddenly noticed that he smelled really bad. It was a truly unpleasant odor that irritated her nose. He took a shower, but the smell persisted. Her husband simply thought it was something from his work. But as the days, weeks, and months went by, the smell became stronger and stronger. Joy was frustrated to be the only one noticing this smell. In her circle, no one thought her husband smelled bad. People thought she was crazy or simply being unkind to her spouse. Eventually, Joy had to learn to live with the smell. 12 years later, Doctors diagnosed her husband with Parkinson's disease. She accompanied him to a support group, and when she entered the meeting room where all the Parkinson's patients were gathered, she smelled the same odor as her husband's, only 20 times stronger. Finally, she understood. She didn't know how, but she could smell Parkinson's disease. She contacted researchers who politely dismissed her, once again thinking she was crazy. But Joy persisted, and the scientists finally put her to the test. They had her smell t-shirts, and she was able to identify which of the owners had Parkinson's disease, with only one mistake. Turns out, 8 months later, that same person she was wrong about was also diagnosed with Parkinson's. She had detected it almost a year before the researchers did. Thanks to her, scientists have identified molecules related to the disease in sebum, which allowed them to develop skin tests that can detect the disease with 95% accuracy, enabling the possibility to start treating patients much earlier. Subscribe for more videos.
What an absolutely spectacular gift. And I'm so glad that it was able to be used to help identify individuals with Parkinson's disease a little early on. At least that way, you can prepare for what's to come. That's going to be the end of it for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate your time, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Here's my cutting room floor.
3, 2, 1.
I believe that every day we are constantly under threat of the sun taking us out. It's so volatile, it's uncontrollable, unpredictable, just so powerful, and you never know when it's going to decide, hey, I'm done. Let's just take everything out. If you are going to be vegan and you are going to shout about animals being unalived, you got to know the facts. Oil is totally a scam. I agree. Prices fluctuate for the drop of a hat. Someone freaking farts in Australia and they're like, let's raise the prices, If that don't tick you off just a little, and I don't know what will. I got another video that's going to piss you off. Here we go. It's hard. It's hard to get by. There's a lot that goes into what you do. I am preaching. I'm not going to preach. What about all of these huge utility plants, right? If they're unmanned, don't they have the possibility of exploding and whatnot? But what's to stop them from, nuclear stuff, nuclear things, or even, yeah. And I just thought that was pretty neat.